Still under arguments, so let's look at the order of execution. So what happens in cases whereby the keyword arguments are of more importance in the terms of order? So we are going to actually call it and like reassign it the variables when we assign our values into the variable. So let's just take a quick example of this. So let's say we are at the border of and we want to maybe do some calculation. So let's first create the function. So maybe like so let's just call it border charges. So border charges. Then we're going to pass in like let's use 3 arguments. So that's so we have tax over here, then we have the rate, and then we now have in, so maybe like the road transport. So the road maybe like the agency. So we have agency amount, so you have to pay for the agency tax and then the rate. So we can do some simple printing over here. So we can say print maybe like welcome to Kenya Tanzania border. So they are just like some countries within Africa. So let's say we want now to print in that order, whereby we need to first get the tax, then the rate, and then also get the road agency. So instead of directly like casting the amount in the terminal, so we're going to use the same amount. So let's say we are now going to say let's have a total tax over here, then pass in tax as the first variable name, then so rate, then we call here rate. So so let's go the rate with the percentage sign. So and then the agency. So the agency, then you're going to pass in the road agency. So I think we're done with our program. Now let's say we want to call this function. So we are going to say maybe print, then border charges. So instead of directly just passing in amount, like so maybe like 30, and then also, so let's have a rate of 5.5, then let's say the total amount now as to around 50,000. So if you run this program, so you see now that welcome to Kenya Tanzania border, so total tax and tax. So we just forgot the F string formatting. So I'm going to clear that and then run my program. So you find that we have a total tax is 30, then the rate is 5.5, and agency. So at some point, so we'll get to know why it's return. We have an ania, so we have a return value. So we are going to look into the return statement after this. So we have this, but at some point, the order of execution might change. And to make sure that things does not change, you have to now pass in the variables which you used over here. So you can say tax, then give it the amount over here. So then you can call in the rate. Then after that, you can call in the road agency. So road underscore agency. Then assign it to that value. So this will make sure that your program, even in any certain situation, nothing will change. So the program will remain with the same order of the keyword argument execution. So let's now look into this as why is it returning none? So I want you to know that by default, if you don't have a return keyword, so Python programs returns none. So it's like there's nothing that maybe like just an absolute value. There's no value in it. So let's say to make things simple, so let's create a new program to calculate maybe like okay, not a Fibonacci of a number. Let's just calculate the square of a number. So I'm going to call square, then it's going to take in a number. Then so let's say we want to now print the square of a number. So you're going to call number times number. Then you're going to store it in maybe let's just just print it directly first. So I'm going to print this number times number. So if you now call the square value here. Then we now run it. So if I now run my program, okay, cool. So let me rerun it again. So if I now run it, you find that nothing is executed. So we didn't complete this method over here. So run your program. So pass in a number. So let's say we want to get a square of 5. So if you run that program, now you see that 25 has been returned. So let's print now together with this, so that maybe if we didn't have this print over inside here. So let's see what's going to happen. You see now that it's still returning, and because by default Python programs must return a value. So, and let's see now what happens if we use the return keyword here. So we're going to say return and num times num. So if I now run my program, you find that 25 is returned. So that means Python interpreter now says, hey, you're now returning a value, so I'm not going to print out 9. So that's actually a quicker way of returning values. So we can actually still like, instead of like storing this into different values and then reprinting them, so by default you would maybe like have performed it this way. So you would have maybe have a value called result, then assign it to a number. Then you now come to this place, then you're going to like start assigning variables. So the return keyword actually like simplifies things. So you're going to directly return a value. So I want you to go into the same program, that's the emoji calculator, not the calculator, but the emoji student graduation. So I want you to figure out how we are going to integrate a function. So how are we going to like place a function inside it so that we can make it reusable. So if you didn't actually like figure out the other program, so this is the program. This was the alert program. So it takes in an alert message, then an input from user, and then it directly splits it. Then we now print the alert dictionary, so by assigning the key and value pairs. Then we are first here, so we go by iterating through there's a split message. Then we now go into our dictionary, then get the value, matching the default value if it's not found, then add some spacing, then not concatenating but adding it up into this empty string. So then we now print our output. So try to figure out how you are going to add the alert message system and also maybe the student emoji system as a function to make it reusable. I'll see you in the solution.